It might be the flavor of Bangkok. It's the only dish that no local restaurant or street food market is complete without, and even on a massive menu, it's always the best seller. I'm talking, of course, about green curry. But for something so popular and allegedly so new, nobody can quite agree on when or where it started. It's as if all at once it just showed up and took over. So today we're diving into the story and trying to answer this controversial question. We're chasing down the best and oldest versions, and because, again, everyone makes it, well, we're falling into an epic Bangkok food crawl. It's the story of green curry. Today on OTR.
I remember I always make this joke. I think we did it in like every single one of our live streams about how, we have these different categories of videos that we make. And I always sort of say, for whatever reason, that we do these documentaries where they take a lot of intense sort of work, and we're trying to tell these big stories. And then there's the other ones that are like the history of green curry. And I always make that joke. And I was saying that yesterday. Do we do like a history of green curry kind of video, or do we make something else with these stories that we've been working on? And I've been saying this for years, and I never really stopped to think about the fact that we've actually never done the history of green curry. I always reference that as like kind of the standard OTR video, and we've never done it before. So yeah, today we're going to do the history of green curry.
I guess it never occurred to me to do a green curry video because living in Bangkok, it just felt too obvious. Like doing a story on how there are a lot of temples or how the river is wet. It's just a fact of life that you accept and never think about. If the lifeblood of this city is Khao, the ubiquitous stalls of curry and rice that sustains the working population, well, the lifeblood of Khao is green curry. It's the only thing other than rice that's an absolute requirement. Everything else is up to the chef. But it's not just a street food. You can find green curry on the menu at the very best restaurants. It's served in the royal kitchen and found at Michelin icons, but come on. That's not how you start this story. You start by just walking down any Bangkok sidewalk because, again, this is the dish of the city.
เป็นเขียวหวานเนื้อที่ขายดีแล้วก็มันแล้วแต่คนบางคนเขาชอบเนื้อค่ะมากอร่อยมากกว่าเขียวหวานหมูแล้วแต่คนชอบหัวกะทิตั้งให้แตกมันแล้วก็เอาพริกเขียวหวานค่ะผัดให้หอมให้แตกมันพอแตกมันเสร็จแล้วก็เติมเนื้อให้ผัดให้สุกแล้วก็เติมหัวกะทิแล้วก็เติมหางหัวกะทิที่เหลือไม่ต้องใส่หมดนะตอนที่ผัดนะคะไม่ต้องใส่หมดแล้วตอนสุดท้ายก็ใส่หางกะทิผัดให้หอมให้แตกมันแล้วก็ใส่เครื่องเคียงก็มีมะเขือโหระพามะเขือพวงแล้วแต่เราจะใส่แล้วก็พริกขี้ฟ้าหั่นเป็นชิ้นสามเหลี่ยมอะค่ะ
In the northern corner of Bangkok's old city, there's a place called Talat Nang Lung, the oldest indoor market in Thailand. It's been here for 126 years, and while outside this is now a modern and fast-paced city, in here it feels like time stopped a few generations ago. A huge amount of what we now call Thai food culture started with markets like these, where people would come to shop for meats and vegetables to cook at home. And while they were browsing, they'd pick up snacks for the kids or relatives. The kind of sweets that today are known everywhere got their start at places like this, and so did the idea of Khao, a large selection of pre-made curries and stir-fries meant to be taken away to feed a family, or taken to work as a meal on the go. And in the whole city, perhaps the most revered, the most iconic, is this one, the legendary Khao Gaeng Rattana. Now, I guess we got lucky since Khao Gaeng Rattana changes their menu every day. But on the counter, there are not one, but 3 versions of green curry, with fishball, beef, and chicken. But beyond the selection, what makes this place so renowned is the fact that their recipes come from the palace kitchen, where the owner's grandfather was once a chef. And that includes the pastes, which they make themselves. One of the last places left in Thailand to do that in-house.
Oh, เครื่องแกงนี่คือบดเองทำเองคือไม่ได้ซื้อเขาคือบดเองทุกอย่างนั่นคือบดเองเรามีเครื่องบดเองทุกอย่างนี่บดเองบดเองบดเองบดเองหมดใบมะกรูดพริกเด็ดหางตะไคร้ข่าแล้วก็มีพริกเหลืองหัวหอมกระเทียมโอเคบดเนี่ยก็มีใส่เกลือให้มันลดเค็มหน่อยนึงใส่พริกไทยได้2 อย่างคือตอนบดนะ
All right, Khao Gaeng Rattana, legendary spot. We very, very rarely make it here because you have like a 30-minute window to buy the best stuff before it's sold out for the day. Green curry, it's okay, please go ahead. Green curry fish ball, green curry beef, the fried catfish, masaman, and Penang, so kind of the sampler platter of curries. And then we have the green curry that I picked up from the vendor as we were just walking in. And it looks like there was a different sort of combination of flavors in the color slightly darker for the green curry beef and the one with fish balls. I'm imagining they're probably both using the same paste as the foundation, but I guess we're gonna find out. It's so much fun to come here. This place has an energy, no?
Absolutely.
We need to pace ourselves because there's a lot of food ahead of us. This is just breakfast.
All right, now in a foreign context, it might seem strange to start a day with green curry for breakfast, but here you have to trust me, this is completely normal. Now maybe as a light first meal you'd have it with kanamjin, thin fermented noodles instead of a plate of rice, but still, no one's gonna look at you sideways. And that's obviously not the only difference between the dish over here and the one we all know back home. In Thailand, green curry isn't thick and creamy, and it doesn't even look like a curry. It's thin with a texture closer to tom kha or coconut soup. It's called Gaeng Khao Wan, and while the wan does translate to sweet, what it's actually referring to is the aesthetically pleasing pale green color. It's fiery, aromatic, and aggressively spicy and almost always served in one of 3 ways, with springy handmade fish balls, tender cuts of beef, or chicken on the bone and with every part used. The rest of the components are up to the chef, but the most common are wax gourd, Thai or pea eggplants, bamboo shoots, and chunks of something euphemistically called blood tofu. Every Khao Gaeng counter has their own way of serving it, but all that matters is they have it. And as you'd imagine, with so much competition, well, it better be good.
Dennis, if you were an NBA player and you worked at a Khao Gaeng counter, what would your name be? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a good way to set up that joke. The guy's just wearing a Steph Curry jersey.
Yeah.
This is the spiciest green curry Which one? This one? I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. Probably the beef one. It's delicious. No, this is to me what green curry is.
Okay, to tell the story of Thai green curry, it's fitting to start at a Khao Gang counter. But that's not the only context of how entrenched this dish is across the city of Bangkok. It's everywhere, and that's part of what makes a shoot like this so much fun. We can literally go wherever we want to find our next meal. To another old favorite like Nang Long Market, or to somewhere completely off the map that we've never tried before. According to the Thai internet, one of the best versions of the dish is found at a place called Krua Kanakar, an hour out of the way, but if we're ever going to check it out, well, it might as well be today. It's a very unique place. Apparently it serves chicken, just chicken, in a dozen different preparations. And even more random is the fact that it actually began of all things as a cart on a golf course 150 kilometers away in Hua Hin. Mrs. Kanakar used to sell fried chicken to duffers and hackers in the 1970s, and her stuff became legendary. So she'd expand, opening in Bangkok near Don Mueang Airport in 1994. Here it wouldn't be the fried chicken that would catch on, but the green curry, served in the other classic style with fresh Khanomjeon noodles. Today it's still run by the same family, with Mrs. Kanakar's daughter and her husband cooking every single dish.
ก็ความพิเศษของแกงเขียวหวานที่นี่นะครับก็เนื้อไก่เนี่ยเขาจะเป็นส่วนเฉพาะส่วนสะโพกนะครับซึ่งจะมีความนุ่มนะครับส่วนพริกแกงเราก็จะเป็นสูตรพิเศษก็จะเป็นพริกแกงทางภาคกลางผสมกับภาคใต้นะครับแล้วก็เราใช้กะทิสดใหม่ทุกวันนะครับก็นี่คือความพิเศษ
All right, so like 3 years ago, yes, chicken. 3 years ago, when I came for the first time to this part of the city to go to the Thai Royal Air Force Museum and act like a bunch of teenagers and, you know, sit in the planes and pretend like we're flying and make the sounds, saw this on Google Maps nearby and have had this pinned and wanted to find an excuse to come here for years. So glad we finally had a reason to make it. The reason why we are here for this shoot is because I always like, when we're kind of preparing for a shoot, to search not just, especially when we're filming in Bangkok, not just the internet, not just our own knowledge base, but to search in Thai. What does the Thai internet say about the dish that we're covering? And the interesting thing when we were, you know, kind of researching what do locals in Bangkok rate as the best green curry, there were a lot of bloggers, Thai influencers, and websites that pointed to this place. So there you go, we finally had an excuse to make the drive. Krua Kanakar, 50 years plus in Hua Hin, known for fried chicken, opened in Bangkok in 1994. And yeah, it's far. We're up lake. We're out in the middle of nowhere in a very interesting and quirky place, and that's enough of me talking. Daria is just like sitting there staring. It's like how when I start putting food in the dog's bowls, and they're giving me the look like, can I please eat now?
I guess in our rush to eat as much as we can, as fast as we can, I barely even noticed how weird this place actually is. It's not just the chicken-only menu with apparently one exception for a beef green curry on special. It's more like I don't know, they say a good restaurant makes you feel like you're invited guests to someone's home, and here, well, yeah, for sure. It's just your weird aunt's house who spends her weekends looking for bargains at garage sales.
I understand that this is a green curry video, but this is calling my name. This is so good. Green curry. This is a fantastic green curry. It is not what it looked like. It looks like it's gonna be sweet. But yeah, I understand why this has the hype. And it's really cool to come all the way up here and find, like, Bangkok has so many hidden gems. Like, this is a city that you never run out of places to explore. And I'm glad that in a shoot like this, we're able to kind of work in a stop in somewhere that we would never think to go to otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah, funky place that food-wise is off the charts.
So good.
You guys come eat, please.
Okay, now Thai food has a long and ancient history, with curries first showing up in the 13th century in the days of Sukhothai. But it would be almost 700 years before we'd see a version that looks like this. It would begin much as it is now, as a street food dish, created apparently for one specific purpose: to make money, or at least to appeal to the Thai masses. The first decades of the 1900s saw explosive change in Bangkok. As roads were built and commerce moved from the canals to the land, while people who'd long survived as farmers began going to work in new offices and factories. So entrepreneurs, in the beginning almost entirely Chinese, started selling food to take away or eat on the go. In the beginning, there were bowls of noodles, like what we call kway teow, soups like zhou or khao tom, and snacks, oyster omelets and steamed siu mai. But that's not what Thai people ate. Their foods were still only made at home, so the Chinese vendors started making adaptations to use their techniques to suit the local palate. Thus would be born Pad Thai and Pad Kapow. Anyway, it would be another decade before Thai locals would get in on the act and their own specialty would come to be called Khao Gang, curry over rice. The first reference to green curry would appear in 1926, and then 3 years later we see the first recipe, made with beef and things like raisins, almonds, and deep-fried potatoes. Over the next decade, the ingredients would become standardized and it would catch on as a Khao Gang dish, and the rest, as they say, is history, at least according to the story. The truth is that all of that is just theoretical. There's never been an official or accepted origin. All we really know is that number one, it never appeared in old recipe books, and two, by the mid-20th century, it was everywhere as a Thai street food. Those are the only facts that we actually have to go on. Now, that doesn't mean that the popular theory isn't correct. Or maybe it does. Because when you apply even a tiny bit of scrutiny, well, it completely falls apart. First, if this was created well into the days of modernization, why do we know literally nothing about where or when it happened? Why has no one, no family or restaurant or anyone claimed even a shred of credit? Second, that 1929 recipe, let's be honest, this is not green curry. It looks good, but connecting this with what we just ate feels like a stretch. And last, and most importantly, well, this was not the only Khao Gang dish to become popular, and every other one, literally every single other dish, existed long before the 20th century. The idea of Khao Gang wasn't creating new stuff. It was simplifying and adapting recipes to turn ancient homemade traditions into fast food. But if we're going to believe that the story of green curry is wrong, and it actually has a much longer and more fascinating history, well, we're going to need some proof. Or at least to figure out what ancient dish might have become green curry on the Bangkok streets. And as it happens, well, a few Thai historians think they might have found an answer. Welcome to Gaeng Pa Sriyan, one of Thailand's most beloved jungle curry restaurants. About a half-hour drive north of the palace in an area called Dusit along the Chao Phraya River. The specialty here, jungle curry, is also found at a lot of Khao Gang counters, but nobody would accuse this of being a modern dish. It's been made for centuries in rural communities, endemic herbs and spices ground up and then boiled with local ingredients. There are countless variations, but the one native to the central Thai basin relies on a fiery and massively flavorful paste of chili peppers, shrimp paste, galangal, and garlic, cooked in a pot along with pea eggplants, Thai eggplants, bamboo shoots, basil, and kaffir lime, which honestly is pretty much exactly the recipe for green curry, just without the coconut milk or a standardized protein. Pretty much everyone in turn-of-the-century Siam would have known this dish. So why change it for Khao Gang? Well, according to the theory, that's simple. Just like the Chinese needed to adjust their flavors to appeal to Thai workers, while softening the aggressive jungle curry would have done the same the other way around to make this old rural Siamese icon into a dish for the masses.
There's a lesson that you'd think after 2.5 years with OTR that I would have internalized, which is that in a green curry shoot, we should just order green curry. This is our second location, and I'm already adjusting my belt.
Satao is green. Lettuce is green.
Green,
Khao?
everything's basil and long beans. So the whole concept that how did what we call green curry in Thailand, how did it come to be that it may have just been somebody adding coconut milk to a jungle curry? I thought we have to come to a jungle curry place, and somehow this is one of the few restaurants in Bangkok that I think you and I have been trying to find a way to work in and film at since we started the channel.
Yeah.
And I almost did a jungle curry shoot instead today just so we could come here, but now we get to have the best of all worlds. Green curry, jungle curry, and something that I didn't know was on the menu, and it's kind of a combination of the two. So it's like a dry green curry. It's a jungle curry basically, but with a green curry paste and cooked with fish balls.
Rice and fries.
And with crinkle cut potatoes.
Classic.
Omelet with minced pork, catfish, pad satay, because still on this channel I have never been able to see it without ordering it. But I want to try this progression.
I'll have a little. Oh, yeah.
So what I want to try first, as we're talking about it's just a theory about, there's no documentation of this. We can't prove that what we call green curry in a Thai sense may have come from jungle curry, but that's a theory. And I'm going to try this progression. So I want to go 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to do the classic jungle curry first, which we got with wild boar. This place has such a fascinating menu. They have jungle curry with boar, with frog, with quail, and with catfish. This is the wild boar version, which I think is what I would consider my go-to. So jungle curry, let's do the combination.
Spicy.
It looks spicy. You're at a jungle curry restaurant. Everything's going to be spicy. That's the point.
Can I have an omelet?
The jungle curry is so much spicier because there's no coconut to cut through it.
Yeah.
But these are the same dish. Not the same. But yeah, you see the consistency is the same. A lot of the aromatics are similar. And Thai food is just all about how do we make an ingredient come into balance. This is fish cakes. This is wild boar. Wild boar is gamier, so you have some other stuff in here. There's stuff I don't even recognize. I think this might be, what do you think, this is a banana stem? Second lesson that after a couple of years I should have learned is that we have a lot more food to eat today. Jungle curry has already destroyed half of my palate, and the pad satay is about to take care of the rest. I'm not going to taste anything the rest of the day. Yeah, I don't have a follow-up to that. I'm not going to taste anything for the rest of the day. But let's try the pad satay, because it's my favorite food.
Good as always.
So, by now we've tried several versions of green curry, but if you're watching this abroad, I want to give you some context why this specifically is so well loved. The first thing you need to understand if you didn't watch our complete video on the topic is that here in the kingdom, there's no such thing as stoplight curries. What I mean is red, yellow, and green here are not sold side by side. In fact, you can't think of curry as a category at all in Thailand because there is no curry. It's a rough translation of gaeng, which means something boiled using a paste. Basically, what that means is that a home-cooked meal in the rural countryside might include a soup of endemic ingredients, again, jungle curry, while in the palace they might serve the rich and lavishly spiced masaman, and these two things are completely unrelated. They don't belong in the same context. The more luxurious stuff is considered a high-end meal, or something for special occasions in fancy restaurants. But a simple gaeng, a basic soup based around a curry paste, well, that's standard. Food for the masses. Think about green curry as more like that. An everyday food, light and healthy, and typically sold for around 90 cents a portion. And while yellow curry, gaeng panang, and masaman are all derived from Indian techniques, green curry is unique. It's definitively local. Invented in Bangkok using exclusively Thai aromatics, and with a flavor profile showcasing basil, lemongrass, and the vegetables long consumed here across the region. But that's the stuff we've eaten so far, and this is not the only green curry.
I don't know what made me think that it was going to be a good idea for us to have a feast at every restaurant so far. Like, if we just gone and like ordered green curry, we'd be 3 green curries deep, 4 green curries deep, and that would be fine. I am at the end of my 2 more places to go. Daria, are you still in the mood for green curry?
I'm leaving you.
You're gonna go walk the dogs. You gotta go. I'm on my own on this sinking ship.
Alright, since we have a bit of time to digest while we drive towards the next destination, let's assume that the theory we just explored is right, and Thai green curry started as an adaptation of jungle curry, with the coconut milk softening the aggressive and spicy original. That would explain a big part of the story, not least of which why it apparently came out of nowhere. But there's one major loose end that still needs exploring, and that's why in more upscale Thai restaurants and all across the rest of the world, well, green curry is rich and creamy and elegant, and doesn't look much like anything we've shown so far. The jungle curry theory might explain the Khao Gang classic, but not this. And in a global sense, it's the other one that's much more famous. According to Google Analytics, this is the 3rd most popular Thailand-related search term. And at least in CNN's 2017 viewer survey, it's the world's 19th best food. But take a look at the photo used in the article. What the heck is this? It certainly doesn't look like anything we've tried so far. If anything, it looks a little bit closer to this, the one from the 1929 recipe book, and maybe that's not a coincidence. What if there isn't one origin story for Thai green curry? What if there are 2? Now, if that sounds crazy, well, we don't need to look far for a similar example. Here in Thailand, red curry is understood to be a category of dishes, not a single monolith. There's the royal version, which has its roots in the Ayutthaya Palace after the arrival of chili peppers in the early 1500s. It's mild and luxurious, and this one would inspire the overseas favorite. Then there's the Khao Gang red curry, which is thin and spicy, and all the 2 have in common is the color. The old-school palace dish is still sold at high-end Thai restaurants, and those places serve green curry too, a version that looks like the foreign stuff and has no similarity with jungle curry. The main difference between the 2 forms of green curry is in the use of coriander, huge amounts of the leaves, stems, and seeds added to the paste, which gives a more vibrant color and softer flavor. Royal green curry also avoids stuff like chicken feet and blood tofu, ingredients for the working class, and instead showcases premium cuts of beef or even more high-end proteins. And two last things that are very important. First, overseas Thai food isn't an accident. The dishes served abroad were carefully selected by government officials to showcase the best stuff the kingdom has to offer, as part of a program called Global Thai. And second, Khao Gang green curry tastes nothing like the version most of us have ever tried before we come to the kingdom. According to the popular story, the upscale green curry evolved from the street food dish as a way to present it to foreigners and wealthy Thai elites. But let's say hypothetically that there are actually two completely unique dishes both called green curry. One comes from the palace, subtle and elegant and recorded in an early Thai recipe book as something like this. The other began on the Bangkok streets when Khao Gang vendors added coconut milk to jungle curry and scooped it over rice to feed a working population. It makes sense, but again, we need proof. The only way to know for sure would be to find an example of, quote, royal green curry that actually predates the Khao Gang version. And as it happens, well, that's not very hard. All we have to do is head right downtown to one of our favorite restaurants.
อันนี้คือคุณแม่จะเป็นอยู่ในวังเป็นพี่สาวของคุณแม่จะเป็นภรรยาของเป็นเขาเรียกชายาของพระองค์เจ้าอนุสรณ์มงคลการแล้วก็คุณแม่เนี่ยมาอยู่ที่ในวังตั้งแต่ตอนสาวๆนะคะก็มาช่วยคุณป้าเนี่ยแหละค่ะมาดูแลลูกของคุณป้าแล้วก็คือใจรักชอบที่จะทำกับข้าวก็เลยมาเรียนรู้กับพวกแม่ครัวซึ่งเขาเรียกว่าต้นเครื่องนะคะของที่ในวังแล้วก็เรียนไปด้วยแล้วก็ทำเห็นก็เรียนทำกับข้าวไปด้วยอันส่วนมากก็จะเป็นมาจากในวังส่วนมากกับข้าวเนี่ยค่ะจะเป็นกับข้าวที่ในวังที่ท่านเสวยพระองค์เจ้าอนุสรณ์เสวยอย่างเงี้ยค่ะแล้วก็เป็นกับข้าวที่แบบพื้นเป็นธรรมดาเป็นของสมัยโบราณค่ะ
So sometimes when we do these shoots, it's been a long day already. Daria's tapped out; she's home. When we do these shoots, we have to do a lot of research to figure out where we're going to find the dishes that we're covering. But then there's something like green curry where we can kind of, it's such an iconic Bangkok staple. Everyone has it, and we get to choose some of our favorite restaurants where it's like, well, this is a good excuse for us to film some places where we've never been before, like the chicken shop that we just went all the way up to the airport to film at, and here, which is, to me, the most underrated restaurant in the entire city of Bangkok. I come here a lot off the air, and we finally find an excuse to come here and film. It's just across the street from Samitivet Hospital, and super accessible in the middle of the city. It's been here for more than 40 years. Everything on the menu is just as, it's like, this is one of those places that gets the details right. It doesn't matter what you order. We were here like 3 days ago, and I think I have a photo of just the giant spread that we got to cover the table. And unfortunately, because we've been eating all day, we've learned our lesson and we are gonna just stick with the green curry. But this is fascinating. I've never in my life seen, this is basically like the red curry roasted duck with these like, we have pineapple, we have all this kind of elegant stuff. And when you talk about elegant, look at this, the shrimp head is still on. So this almost feels unfair. I'm just making a mess, just throwing stuff all over my plate. It's okay, I'll eat it anyway. When you see like the whole, Chao Phraya river prawn and you can scoop out that goodness in the head and use that for richness with pineapple, kaffir lime, chili, basil, and the green curry paste. I have never tried this before, but I don't think that I'm gonna not enjoy this. It's such a cool use of green curry. In some ways that works better than the red curry. Roasted duck, because you have a little bit more brightness and chill. Oh, there's that. The shrimp was the last flavor that I got. This is really wild. I just want to try this. Look, you see how just rich and velvety it is. I want to try this without the rice for a second. And that's an astonishing curry.
You can tie yourself in knots trying to figure out why Thai green curry is so different here versus abroad. But the truth is it's not. There's just more than one version of the famous dish. The way it's served here at a place where the customers are almost all Thai and with recipes derived from the palace, well, this is the green curry we expected. Just a mind-blowing, authentic version. Both green curries, the one here and the ones we tried earlier, are very much real, with their own stories and histories, and both in their own way represent fascinating and important parts of Thai culinary history. And to get to have it all on the same day is just an embarrassment of riches, and something that reminds us how lucky we are, in spite of all the problems in the world, to be alive right now.
So I think this is the first Bangkok shoot that we've ever done with Dennis and Carol. Usually you guys are the ones, because you don't live in Bangkok, so we usually travel together when we're filming outside the city, which means you've never been here for one of our history of videos. I'm gonna show you something. So, we've taped at this restaurant before. We cooked with Kate for Pad Kapow and a couple of the old videos that we used to do. But I'm gonna show you something that I don't think that you guys are expecting. Follow me. Wait for it. So this is our set. So whenever you see the history of, rice or noodles or whatever we're doing, I'm sitting here, that's the backdrop. People think it's my house. So we get all these people who are asking oh, what are these books behind you? I don't know, they're not my books. This is our OTR set that we do for all of our history of videos. It's the hidden second floor at Boon Lane because the lighting's awesome and the walls look great. And the food is good. And I can't think about food right now, but we have one more meal to eat. I'm usually actually, because I'm not, this table is high. It's like an oversized table. So when I sit down, I'm a little bit too low. So I'm actually usually sitting on one of these books when we tape these videos. So usually I'd be about here.
For our last meal, we're coming home, at least to our fake home on camera. Aside from moonlighting as a studio, Boon Lane is a Thai restaurant run by our friend Kate, where she uses her own background working in some of the country's most famous and highly honored Michelin-starred restaurants to cook Thai comfort food, elevating the most common dishes without losing sight of their soul. As far as the question of which version of green curry does Kate serve, the royal one or the Khao gang staple, the answer is, I have no idea. It's somewhere in the middle, with her own touches like using chicken stock along with the coconut for that extra bit of flavor. She even adds turmeric and fresh chilies like a southern Thai curry because, that's the whole point. At the end of the day, green curry is all about using Thai spices and aromatics and local techniques to make something incredible, whether it's made in the palace, on the city streets, or refined by any of the country's best chefs. It's not a single dish. It's a platform, a style of cuisine, its own unique category with origin stories both ancient and still being written to this very day.
So I think green curry is one of those dishes that you come to Bangkok, and if you leave without having green curry, you haven't had
No,
Bangkok food.
You haven't been to Bangkok.
What's your, forget about your own restaurant, what's your favorite style of green curry, your favorite restaurant to have it?
My favorite style is because I eat spicy. So I prefer like more southern style. Yes, so that's why I want my green curry to be a little bit of the turmeric to get that, the sense of south. And sometimes if I do it for myself, I add the green bird eye chili to spice it up. Yeah, I like that. But it's because like we cannot cook something what we like for the others because maybe they don't like what we like. So that's why I think this recipe is it will be like comfort for everyone.
So I was just looking at the clock. It's like 5:40 p.m. right now. We started the shoot at 9 this morning, so it's like 9 to 5:30 right now, which is a normal work day. And and so I'm like, why am I so tired? And kind of hitting that wall when it's just been a normal, human being kind of work day. It's like, well, what did we do today? We ate. So like, how did I spend my work day? We just started eating at 9 and have worked our way through an entire, standard work day just eating. And if I start, Kate was just asking about like, what did we have today? Other than just a green curry. And I was trying to go through the list of all the dishes that we ordered. And it's like, we are bears getting ready to hibernate for the winter. And we have one last one to go, and then guys, what do you want me to order for dinner for us for later when we're back working on the edit? Green curry. Green curry?
I know there's a lot more that could be said about green curry. I mean, this is the dish of Bangkok. But I actually want to end by talking about this video in general because shoots like this are about the most fun we have in our home city. Wherever you are, you should try this too. Choose one thing, pick one day, and get out and start exploring because you never know what you might find. Maybe it'll be some funky restaurant you've never been to before, some incredible places that make amazing food, or even a whole new side of a story that's never made it into the history books. There's no better way to break the daily routine and push yourself out of your comfort zone than to do something like this and really get to know the secrets of the place where you live. And in Bangkok, well, this is a city fueled by green curry. Thai green curry is one, or more than one, of the world's best foods. It's the rare dish that's captivated everyone from the wealthiest aristocrats to the humblest workers. It's endlessly exciting, whether it's served over rice, kanamjin noodles, or fresh baked roti. You might find it with beef, chicken, fish balls, or even giant river prawns, but no matter the context, no matter the recipe, it proves why here in this country it's impossible to walk past it without stopping for a meal. And thankfully, or given our current state, unfortunately, well, here in this country you walk past it everywhere.
It's a weird pain, because it's a pain where I'm like, this is delicious. This is delicious. So I don't want to like in any way seem like I'm not enjoying every bite of this. But let's just say that my enjoyment right now is from here up.
Subscribe to the channel for more from OTR. Thank you so much to everyone who supports us on Patreon. It really helps to keep us going. Find links below to our Patreon and social media, and we'll see you soon.
point when we've literally probably had, I would say, realistically, 3 of the best green curries on the planet.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, is it weird to eat the same thing all day? Of course. Like, would I normally make this choice? No. But still, when you think about rationally, like, we ate well.
Yeah, we ate very well.
I don't even remember everywhere we went today. Where did we go? So we started at Nonglong.
Delirious.
And then we went to the,
I can't remember it either.
so we started at the Nonglong market.
Market
Then we went to the jungle curry spot.
and bot.
And then we went to the fried chicken place.
Yes.
And then I brought it here. That's 5. It's not too bad. Like,
Yeah.
it was the superfluous stuff. It was just smashing like little coconut snacks and me ordering like 2 dishes of pad see eau and like in 2 different
true.
places.
Yeah.
Which was
I
just
think we
an
got
unforced mistake that I
we
should
got-
have learned from 2
we
years
got
ago.
at the Gaeng Pa at the second restaurant because we ordered.
We got we ate like giant portions of stuffed chicken wings.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
That one.
It was that one.
Worth it.
We had like 1.5 whole chickens fried.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not even our topic today. That was just like an extra bonus. Like,
snap.
oh, by the way, just eat a side dish with your 10 bowls of green curry. Would you like a whole chicken deep fried on the side? Yeah, sure, that sounds fine.
Stuffed with minced pork.
Stuffed with minced pork.